Здравствуйте. I am an Australian living in Belarus, and I want to share with you three things that I really like about Belarusian people and three things I don't like about Belarusian people. First of all, Belarusians are incredibly polite, possibly the politest culture on the planet, which was a shock to me. I love how considerate Belarusian people are. Whether it's just something simple like getting on and off the metro, people will wait for other people to get on. People will get out of your way without you asking them to move. People just seem to consider other people here, which is really, really nice. And if you need some help, Belarusians will bend over backwards to help you. I've had so many people spend several minutes with me trying to explain something, trying to help me find something. In general, Belarusians are just really, really helpful and really considerate. The second thing I really like about Belarusian people is how well you present yourselves. People are always dressed really, really well and have very nice haircuts and everything groomed immaculately. I'm really, really impressed. Women of all ages subscribe to this, always dressed very, very well. The latest fashion, very neat, new looking clothes, and everything is presented really, really well. Most guys too, maybe some older guys, not so much, don't care as much, but definitely younger guys, kind of 40 and less, tend to dress really well. It really seems to be important in your culture to look your best and present yourself really well. And tied in with this is an awareness about your physique. A lot of people go to the gym here. A lot of people are very conscious about what they eat. For example, I was having a conversation with some Belarusian guys the other day, and we were talking about hot dogs and what you put on hot dogs. Long story. But they're like, I don't know. I never eat them. They're so bad for you. I don't even know what's in them. And it's like, wow, that's a big difference between Belarusian mindset and Western mindset. The third thing I really like about Belarusians is the honesty of Belarusians. I can trust people here. People do not do bad things for the most part, and people are very, very honest. Let me give you an example. When I rent an apartment here, I do not have to give a deposit. I do not have to give a bond or some kind of extra money just in case I break something. I think Belarus is the only country in the world where this does not happen. I move into the apartment, I don't even know the owner, move into the apartment, give them 1 month's rent, and when I leave, if there's a problem with the apartment, the owner contacts me and I will give him some money if there's a problem. Now I compare that to, say, Australia, where I must give 1 month's rent plus an extra month's rent that's held by the government in case there's any kind of problem between the owner and I. And if you compare to maybe, say, Russia, for example, you may not get your deposit back depending on who the owner is. So you kind of got those extremes there, but Belarus is very unique in how trusting and honest people are. It's really something I don't think Belarusians quite understand about their culture. All right, time for a reality check. What are three things that I don't like about Belarusians? Well, one is that they're still Slavic, so that means they still complain a lot. They see things through this kind of negative mindset. Everything's bad. The weather's bad. It ruins my life. This is bad. That's bad. Belarus is bad. Everything's bad. There's just this constant negative attitude. For example, I was with my friend the other day, and we've just come through a very warm winter. February and March were very, very warm by normal standards. But this day was actually windy and rainy. And she was complaining about this. And I said, yeah, look, today was horrible. The snow was blowing in sideways, hitting you in the eyes. It's very uncomfortable. But February and March were like the warmest February and March possibly ever. So it's okay. And she looks at me like, huh? You're such an optimist. And it's like, not even, not even close. So this kind of negative mindset, and this is changing a little bit. I think the younger generation are a little bit less like this, but it's still there very much, this kind of negative outlook, negative default outlook on everything. The second thing that annoys me about Belarusians is they have this kind of fantasy that their country's horrible and the rest of the world's amazing. So first of all, Belarus is not horrible. On almost every metric, it's really, really good. The main thing, of course, is the living standards. The real incomes could be higher here, no doubt, but everything else functions really, really well and better than 80 to 90% of countries on the planet. And of course, when Belarusians are comparing themselves to some other mystical land, they're thinking about United States of America. And they're not even comparing to the United States of America, but are comparing to this kind of fantasy, positive feeling about United States of America, which does not reflect reality. So I find that Belarusians have this unrealistically negative view on their own country, and they're kind of comparing themselves to the best of other countries. And again, their perception of these countries are not really that accurate either. I went through a phase of trying to argue with Belarusian people. It's like, you know what? It's not that bad here. Everything works, everything's clean, it's a very safe country, there's a lot of positives, lots of lifestyle. You can go to the theatre, you can go to the ballet, you can play tennis, you can play football. There's all these kind of lifestyle options that most countries actually don't have. But I quickly learned that this is not a good idea. Belarusians don't want to argue about this. And the best thing to say, if a Belarusian person starts talking about Belarus, the best thing to say is, oh, Belarus is horrible. It's so bad here. Why don't you leave? And you see the smile come onto their faces. And this is how I've learned to have conversations on this topic. The final thing I don't like about Belarusian people is how much some of the older guys drink. There's a really heavy drinking culture here. And I'm quite surprised just the volume of drinking that goes on. So I was driving back towards Minsk the other day and I stopped to get some petrol. And I go to pay to the attendant and I look behind the attendant and the whole back wall was hard liquor. It was just vodka, whiskey, etc. And it's like, this is a petrol station that people come to pay for petrol. They drive there and they drive away. Why is the biggest part of the shelf space filled with vodka and whiskey? And it's like, that is not good. That shows that there's a lot of drinking here, a lot of drink driving here, and this is just lose-lose for everybody. There you have the three things that I like about Belarusians and the three things that I don't like about Belarusians. Let me know your thoughts below.